Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Let's talk about Angel Myers McIlrath, the DA in the Nolan Wells case. She's out in Jackson County. That's what she represents. She's in Mississippi, and you know how they do things in Mississippi. They pretty much do whatever they want to do, and the rest of the world has to just pretty much acquiesce. Anyway, fam, Angel is a strange character. Angel recently put out a statement that raised a lot of eyebrows because of her sneak dissing of Nolan Wells' parents. Yeah, see, Nolan Wells' parents, they shared a statement that they sent to the DA's office, and they did that because there were claims that they were not cooperating with the DA's office, and the lie detector determined that that was a lie. Here's part of the statement that Angel Myers McIlrath wrote. She previously said, as district attorney, she does not have the same freedom to share information publicly that private individuals may have. For example, I do not have the freedom to release letters I've sent in this investigation, discuss witness cooperation, or the testing of evidence. There's only one small problem with that, Angel. See, when your boy Tyler Cox, you know, the attorney for some of those dudes who have fingers pointing their way in regards to Nolan Wells' disappearance and subsequent death. Angel was quiet as a church mouse. Yeah, she was quiet, super quiet. Y'all remember when, the attorney Cox, the dude went on there with the big hat on, had his hands folded, looked like he was one of their friends or something. I didn't even know he was an attorney until afterwards. But anyway, attorney Tyler Cox went on the Dan Abrams Show to say that the victim's family wasn't cooperating with the DA's investigation. And then there was Judge Ashley Cole, who shared bits and pieces of information surrounding an active investigation. And again, Angel Myers McIlrath is quiet as a church mouse. But as soon as the victim's family tries to clear up confusion, she decides it's time to go to the press. And this was brought to my attention by a former prosecutor by the name of Mary David, who's on Instagram. The woman has some very good insight on Nolan Wells' case, but also other cases out there, right? So she's a good follow. This is about priorities. The public wants the focus on determining what happened to Nolan. So where's the same energy for Nolan, Angel? If you're forcibly responding to misinformation or criticism, people will naturally expect that same intensity when discussing getting answers for the family. Criticism isn't automatically misinformation, Angel. So why you acting like a devil? People asking uncomfortable questions about an investigation shouldn't all be placed in the same category as people spreading false claims. The DA has a right to defend the integrity of the investigation, but defending the investigation shouldn't become more visible than explaining what authorities are doing to advance it. Don't attack the messenger and ignore the message. Even an aggressive critic can raise a legitimate question. The family shouldn't become the problem. Nolan's mother demanding answers, his father demanding answers, doesn't resolve what happened to Nolan. Content creators aren't the investigation. Whatever anybody on YouTube says, prosecutors still have to evaluate evidence, witnesses, forensic findings, and potential criminal responsibility. Selective outrage creates distrust, Angel. When officials appear furious about public criticism but restrained about the circumstances surrounding a young man's death, people notice the contrast, Angel. Transparency will shut all of that down. Obviously, prosecutors can't disclose everything, but explaining what they legally can would help. Why does Mary David have to explain to us what you can and can't share? Why does Andrew Wilkerson have to explain what you can and can't share? Why does Jack Palmieri have to explain what you can and cannot share? Why does Dennis Sperling have to explain what you can and cannot share? Why does Umika Lewis have to explain what you can and cannot share? Why does any attorney have to get online and help us navigate through this story legally? Because you won't do your job. A grand jury presentation needs evidence, not emotion. Ultimately, the DA is going to be judged by what evidence is presented, and whatever happens in the case, it's all going to fall on her. Don't confuse urgency with demanding an arrest. Yeah, we want an arrest, but we want urgency first and foremost, the urgency of investigating, turning over every rock, evaluating all evidence. That's photographs, that's videos, that's timelines. Interviewing every witness. Even if they say they wasn't there, even if they was not on the island, they could be a potential witness after the fact. They're saying that it went down on that boat. They're saying that the boat was cleaned. Well, who are the cleaning companies? Who are the boat cleaning companies out there? Who saw something in the middle of the night? You can demand thorough, aggressive investigation without declaring somebody guilty before the evidence supports it. We're going to keep bringing it back to Nolan. Every side argument about social media personalities and criticism can distract from the only question that ultimately matters. What happened to Nolan? Angel? Don't show me how angry you are at people asking questions. Show me how eager you are to answer them. No more talk.